So I thought we'll chime in on here. There's a lot of controversy right now with snake diet. Cole Robinson getting getting kicked off, uh, and then you got guys like Sean Baker, etc. And all these guys, all these carnivore bros who claim that they eat like a house cat. Okay, all of them use testosterone exogenous, pinning daily, and they all deny it. Getting crazy. Now, I have first-hand experience of using anabolics. I've been around anabolics since 1997. First time I actually used them was 2014. So I've got extensive experience on the topic. I can recognize people who do definitely use. If you're using, I can't tell if you are using, but I can tell you if you're definitely not natty. Okay, because you could give someone 5 milligrams of test a week. You can't tell. You can't tell. You give a woman 5 milligrams, but you can't tell. Okay, so I can definitely tell if someone's not natty. So you have these carnivore people out there just talking absolute garbage, telling people to eat like hyenas. All right, eat like a hyena. Eat like a house cat. Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, eat like a house cat. We're designed to eat like house cats. And then, meanwhile, I've got this is oatmeal, organic oats. I've got my sugars on there. Boom. Why have I got sugars in these little things? Because I do a lot of dumpster diving, and the amount of stuff that gets binned is inappropriate. I save. God, I pull. I make money out of bins. I save probably $20,000 a year on food. The stuff I pull out, organic juices, organic fruit, like vegan stuff, is crazy, crazy. These things here, these are pretty much how much fat's in per 100 grams here. 4 grams of fat per 100, so very low fat. Is pea protein, organic pea protein, organic fiber bean pea protein, and a bit of salt. That's it. This is in the bin. It's organic. Why are we throwing this in the bin? This is vegan. So, this is like 53 grams of protein for 100 grams. It's virtually fat-free. Not that I eat a lot of protein, because my goal right now is weight going down for cycling and running. I want to set a marathon PR this year, so I'm going to get my weight right now. So I've hopped off the juice. As you notice, the weight's gone from 85 kilos now to 69 kilos. So cutting right down. And feasting. So, not training much, building the training up slowly, and so just leveraging nutrition to get the weight down. So yeah, you can see, I'm not even at my leanest yet. This is me feasting and, eating lots and lots and lots of carbohydrate every day, as much as I want. I always eat unlimited carbohydrate. You can see, the low body fat, okay? So yeah, very, very lean. So this is why I tell people the success, to have success in life is all about pattern recognition, okay? Pattern recognition. Now, guys like Snake Diet, Cole Robinson, he's starting to recognize different patterns. He's thinking, okay, so all the people out there doing the keto diet are type 2 diabetic. They become diabetic from all the high fat and high protein. Now, if you are watching this and you're eating a high fat diet, or you think sugar's bad, so you're eating more fats and proteins, you should go to your doctor and get a test called an oral glucose tolerance test. It's the gold star for diabetes. The glycated hemoglobin test, not accurate. For diabetes, it's about insulin sensitivity and insulin resistance. Okay, do the homework, do the real research on this one, because the thing with glycated hemoglobin is if you're got a high testosterone level, or if you've got like naturally or exogenous or endogenously high testosterone, that's going to affect your hemoglobin A1C. If you're doing a lot of sport, your hemoglobin A1C is going to be a lot higher than your twin who's sedentary. Isn't that crazy? Yeah? But yet your insulin sensitivity will be a lot better than your twin who's sedentary. And insulin sensitivity, insulin resistance, that determines our fasting insulin levels, and inflammation with the corresponds with the high insulin levels, okay, and that corresponds with high excess intake of fats and proteins. And how much is too much varies in the person to person. So if someone who's really, really active, like running 200 miles a week, they're going to process a lot fat a lot better than someone who's sedentary. Okay, so the more fat you eat, the more exercise you need to be doing to burn it off. So it takes 3 kilos of oxygen to burn 1 kilo of fat. So people always say, "Oh, but Harley, do you only eat sugar on the days you do exercise?" It's like, no, I only eat sugar on the days I don't want to be reaching out for excessively fatty food and feeling garbage. Okay, so that's every day I'm eating sugar. So if you don't eat enough sugar, then you're going to reach out for the fatty stuff. Then you're going to feel stodgy. The oil is going, skin's get all greasy from all the grease. Your digestion's going to be there, and you're going to be hating life. But then you fill up on carbohydrates. Boom, you're good to go. And then when you're eating all this carbohydrate, all this sugar, and eating hardly any fat at all, your body can finally start to chew out all the fat. I mean, so where's all the fat here? Is just dissipated, just melted off my body, actually breathed out via the lungs. Actually, did you know that when you're losing fat, you breathe that out? Isn't that crazy? Well, and you're peeing it out. So all the fat that used to be covering my stomach, all those vegan Krispy Kreme donuts and the vegan corn chips and the oils and the avocados and stuff like that used to be covering the muscles, gets dissipated when you stop eating the fat. Your body can actually burn the fat. So that's why people out there are like, oh, I shouldn't eat carbohydrate because your body can't burn fat when you're eating carbohydrate. So what you got to do is you got to eat fat. And what? So you burn 100 grams of fat that day, and then you're going to eat 150 grams of fat that day, and then you wonder why you look like Joe Rogan and you're an 18-year-old chick. You know, it's like just saying, you know, and you know, just saying. If that's your goal, like if you're if you're an 18-year-old girl or 20-something girl, and you're watching this video, and your goal is to be like staunch and like bulbous and bloated and like Joe Rogan, that's fine. I'm not here to judge that. If that's what you're trying to do, then boom. But if you're looking to look tight in a mini dress and have a slim torso, not ripped like this as a woman, because otherwise your estrogen will be too low, but if you're looking to be tight, then listen to me. If you want a body like Ken Berry, that's fine. Listen to him, okay? If you want a body like, imagine if I was a chick, you know? Or just look at the women do my protocols long term who live with me. Stomach, boom, L lines. No Stall City here. So that's just right. That's just right there. If you want to, you know, it baffles me why people are taking advice from these people. You know, baffles me. But again, some people love hearing good things about their bad habits. So carnivore versus snack diet. Snack diet, Cole is promoting this high sugar thing. That's fantastic. All right, he's also promoting people maybe if they want to eat meat and stuff, but he's also saying to these people, don't eat too much meat, because meat does create Stall City with weight loss, and that is very, very true. I see in my crystal ball, my genie in a bottle, I see Cole Robinson's snack diet becoming a vegan cyclist and getting insanely shredded just all year long and just loving life. I see him sitting in his car and go, hang on, why am I driving my car to the gym to use the bike? Let me just park the car, let me just get on the bicycle and use my bike for whatever I'm going to do that day. Let me do that, you know? That's what I see Cole Robinson doing. Snack diet. I can see him going full on vegan cyclist mode, and just loving it. Because the dude's obviously, he's like one of these Jack Russell Terriers, you know? He's like a Jack Russell ex Pitbull sort of thing. Just high energy, just loves chasing around the ball around, getting it done. So he's got that sort of, you know, he's like got that, you know, athletic genotype engine going on. That's just a good thing. But it's also a very destructive personality if we get into bad habits. Okay, so that's why I encourage people, carbs, man. All right, carbs are your friend. You know, the rice, the fruits, starches, the potatoes. I'm having some organic oats here tonight. Something different. But I've got rice in the boil as well. So I just want to have something right now. And oats are great for that. They're just boom, pour. And cereal, fantastic. Get a rice cooker, people. Sugar's your friend. Why do people stay fat on a carnivore diet? Why do people get fat on a carnivore diet? You read the forums and people like gaining, you know, 10, 50, 100 pounds. They're getting colon cancer. They're getting heart attacks. They're getting gallbladders pulled out. They're getting stomach. They're getting colostomy bags because they're just so backed up. They're getting alcohol issues because they're like craving carbohydrate, and then they're reaching alcohol. And it's absolute. They're getting full stimulant addiction because sugar restriction equals caffeine addiction. You know, and it's just getting out of hand. It's destruction out there, and then people are, but you know, such and such eats a pure carnivore diet, and it's like, you really think these people just eat meat, man? You know what I mean? Like even when I was a meathead, you know, 30 years ago, whatever, the football of eating just meat. It's like, no, man, I'm having my rice, I'm having my pasta, I'm having my pizza, I'm having bread, I'm having sugar, I'm having fruit, I'm having lollies, man. So people out there's no one actually, none of these influencers actually doing it. They're not even walking their talk. Just look how they lie about steroid usage. I mean, look how they lie about their steroid usage. Okay, you think Ken Berry and Chaffee and Baker and that, you think those guys aren't using exogenous testosterone? Hey, maybe Santa Claus exists, you know? So the fact that people hide that, in my opinion, in the interest of the public, why would you trust what they're actually eating, man? You know? And then when you go and do that, you go and eat a carnivore diet, you realise, hang on, I can't do squat. I'm in ketosis. When you're in ketosis, you're weak as piss. You're weak. And so then you have guys like Sean Baker lifting heavy weights and stuff, and you know that's a total fraud right there. Because how can you have that, you know, glucose-derived ATP power when you're in ketosis? You can't. Anyone who's run a marathon or, you know, a serious athletics level, or even just not in serious, just go and do something hard. Just go work in the garden all day in ketosis, and you wake up, you passed out, you smash your teeth because you hit the concrete when you're decked out. And you're like, what happened? Where am I? Oh, you're in hospital. You passed out from hypoglycemia. Oh, that means I've got to, like, you know, just get fat adapted, don't I? It doesn't even exist, mate. Fat adapt. There's no one else out there. I'll give $50,000. Let's fuck that. I'll give $100,000 to an athlete out there who can perform better in ketosis, stronger, like heavier lifting in ketosis, or they can run a 10,000 or a 5,000 meter better in ketosis. I'll give $100,000 USD. Boom. Let's put the money on the table. Okay, let's put the money on the table. That's absolute bogus, man. Even guys like Timothy Noakes. Timothy Noakes now has type 2 diabetes. Actually, Timothy Noakes has been type 2 diabetic for the last 10 years. And Timothy Noakes doesn't eat any sugar. Go figure. Now, Timothy Noakes did my protocols. His oral glucose tolerance test would be reversed in, I would say, at least a week maximum, maybe a couple of days. Isn't that amazing? But sugar's the bad thing. So we need to do deep dives on a guy called Harold Hemsworth, and we need to identify patterns. Why are these carnivore people who claim they're doing carnivore, the men, why are they all doing exogenous testosterone? Because maybe they are trying to limit their carbs here and there, and then they're crashing their hormones. When you limit your carbs, you can't sleep properly. Cortisol stays excessively high too long. Your thyroid gets took, your TSH goes up, and your testosterone just plummets down. So even guys like Andrew Huberman, Joe Rogan, they're open about their testosterone usage. But if you need testosterone, you know, that's a bit of a red flag for me. When you haven't had a testicular injury, or you weren't born with the condition, okay, fair enough. But you got these grown men having to pin test all the time because their diets are just so deficient in carbohydrate. People say, oh, but you don't need fats for hormone production. Yeah, you do. And your body makes fat, okay? And there's fat in oats, there's fat in bananas, there's fat in these grapes here. Yeah? Grapes have fat in them, okay? It's minimal but sufficient. So, but if you look at your body, do you find you have enough fat on there? If you don't, then please don't do my protocols. If you're extremely lean and you're concerned about getting too lean, then definitely eat more fat than I recommend. Enjoy your avocados. Enjoy your avocados. Even oats. Oats have got a decent amount of fat in there. Would someone get obese from oats? No. Would oats be not as good as white rice in terms of getting ultra ripped? White rice is going to be better. Why? Because white rice has less fat, and the less fat you eat, the less fat you're going to be wearing. The fat you don't eat, the fat you don't wear. But definitely, if you are underweight, my protocols will definitely help you restore to a healthier, lean, athletic, slim, healthy weight, okay? You're going to look a lot better. I have worked with anorexics for a few decades now, and everyone who anorexia who does my protocols, they just perform really much better, really well. It's fantastic. It's really amazing to see, especially the girls and the guys too. They just get this. They get this. The women get their ovulation, their hormones back, and they start to glow, and it's just like an amazing transformation. Amazing transformation. But anyway, that's the carnivore diet. Absolute bogus, man. Absolute nonsense. Bad for your gut, bad for your planet, bad for your performances. No one's really doing it, you know. No one's really doing it. People might do it for like a few days and then binge out and, you know, whatever, and just be, or I guess some people do it for a few months and just get so fat and so sick and clogged up and that, and then they have a break and then they go back to it and they have a break, and it's just like, so they're eating high fat, high meat all this time, maybe sneaking some carbohydrate here and there so the brain actually works properly, and that's a good thing to do. But there's still just chugging down all this cream and butter and bacon and pig flesh and pig fat and beef cow fat. You know, like, girls, if someone says you're looking like a cow, do you take that as a compliment? I don't know. Probably not. Okay, so why would you eat cow? Why would you eat that stuff, man? And even we have things like, people say, oh, tuna doesn't have much fat in it. That's very true. Tuna's very lean. The problem with the tuna these days, it's full of heavy metals, man. So what about the heavy metals? So, and in nature, we would never come across a tuna, you know. My cats eat tuna. I get a lot of tuna from the bins, and my cats love it. But they're, you know, and the cats don't live that long, I guess. So the bioaccumulation of mercury in a cat is not as much a concern. But a human, if you're eating tuna for 10, 20, 30 years, what's going to happen when you get older, man? I mean, I ate a lot of tuna back in the day. Well, not a lot, but I did eat it. You know, so is that mercury still sitting in my brain? Is it going to cause me problems later in life? I don't know. So that's a consideration as well. People always just focus purely on weight loss. Do my protocols in my ebooks, okay? And you'll get this lean, I guarantee it, as a guy. And if you're a woman, you'll get really slim. You get the ideal waist you want, without any crazy restrictions or whatever about counting calories and starving yourself and all that nonsense. Okay, feast. Always eat as much carbohydrate as you want. Okay, as much as you desire every day. And if only eat carbohydrates as much as you want on the days you don't want to be, you know, snacking on the fatty stuff. Even before I was in the supermarket, and they've got these things called pizza shapes, these biscuits, and they're about 20 grams of fat per 100, so a little bit greasy. And I've eaten my share of over my lifetime. And I was like, oh, there's a new flavour out. Oh, it's a vegan one. Oh, interesting. And I was getting interested about it because I was a little bit hungry. So instead of getting that, I thought, let me get some canned corn, knock back a canned corn, boom. The pizza shapes, Arnott's pizza shapes, I was like, distant memory. Just boom. But if I didn't have that can of corn, the carbohydrate there, then the pizza shapes probably would have came in. And then a box of pizza shapes here ain't gonna ruin my extreme low body fat goals. But it's just a reminder, isn't it? You know, that they don't want you eating much carbohydrate. So then you eat that fatty, greasy stuff, and then it stacks up. The fat stacks up in your body, and then you're like, I don't feel as good, and then you get insulin resistance, and then you need medication, and then you this and that and that. Then you start to fall into that sort of lifestyle. Oh, Holly, I'm so tired. Do you have to exercise on your diet? I don't recommend a diet. I recommend a lifestyle. Yeah, I'm team vegan, but it's a lifestyle I promote. And if you don't have energy to do exercise, that's a concern, man. That's a real concern. You don't have enough energy to go walk with your kids, or walk the stairs, or do something vigorous in your bedroom or whatever. You don't have enough energy for that. That's going to be some problems coming in. You know what I mean? If you have enough energy to go for a walk or a jog or ride your bike to work or whatever, then how are you going to have enough energy to be a proper parent? You ain't. There's going to be consequences to that. There's going to be a lot of pain to not having fitness. Okay, so it's one thing to like look lean, but if you're lean and maybe look fit, but you don't have energy on top of that, people are like, hang on, how do you look fit but your performance is so shit? Like you can't even do this. Like what? Oh, so you're just starving yourself. No wonder you're in a bad mood all the time. Damn, that sucks. Energy is everything. You got energy, man. Life's much better. So I'd rather be super fit, lean, because the energy comes with that. Okay. Oh, actually no. So I'd rather be fat with high energy and charisma than super lean and like fucking miserable. Yeah. Because if I was fat with energy, I'm gonna get lean. But when you're lean with no energy, that's where you're going to get fat because your body can't sustain that, and you're about to binge out on all the grease and get fat again. So that's why my protocol is just unrivaled, man. Absolutely unrivaled. You know, this is after a full day of hydration eating. I'm not starving down or nothing like that. That's what these people out there doing these cutting diets for bodybuilding comps. I'm just like, what? Like you want to be like ripped every day of the year, not just like starving yourself down and then next day you got a pumpkin head because your aldosterone levels are all cooked out because you're starving yourself down, taking diuretics and stuff, clean butyrol. Stuff's dangerous as heck, man. Never take that shit. Do my protocols, gang. If you're a bodybuilder, get ready for a comp, just do my protocols and you'll be shredded every day of the year. Clean butyrol for weight loss. What the fuck? That's the dumbest thing ever. Dangerous, man. Thyroid meds and shit. That's just wow, bad. But again, so much money in the industry. How much does this cost? How much does this bowl of food cost here? 50 cents. And it's organic as well. You know, like, so you can understand there's not much money in it to be made here. You know, people aren't driving Ferraris promoting grapes. That's for sure. So you understand what the industries are creating, certain narratives out there. Okay, understand the patterns. Being able to identify patterns in life is a huge one. What causes diabetes? All your diabetic friends, watch what they eat. Don't judge them. Like, verbally, just be watching. Oh, you're eating lots of bacon. Oh, you love your oil. Oh, you love your fats, healthy fats. Oh, you're type 2. Oh, you don't eat any sugar. You drink Coke Zero and you're diabetic. I can see why. Oh, wow, you hardly eat any fat at all. Oh my God, your diet's almost pure sugar. Oh, and you're a vegan. Wow, you are very, very lean. Oh, your insulin sensitivity is absolutely perfect. Oh, you don't even do that much training. Wow, you do have energy though. Wow, that's cool. Wow, amazing. Your productivity is amazing. Oh, there's a pattern over there too. People, it's all about patterns. Once you can start spotting patterns in life, then you're going to start winning really, really hard.